If I take a few steps towards the massive tree, does it change at all?
If you step a few steps towards the tree, you can see the vines kind of stretch a little further.
Okay. I will touch the tip.
Okay. So you begin to step, and it is it's about 50 or so feet to the base of the tree. As you begin to step out, Keyleth kind of follows about 15 feet behind. The rest of you follow along as well.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Of course. Fuck that tree.
I want to see the tree.
As you step towards it, you can see now all amongst the tree there are balconies. There are beautiful, like elf-designed latticed windows that are built into elements of it. And it is a massive trunk. Like staring at it, you can barely make out the edges of it from each side of your periphery when you're this close to it. It is like the base of a mountain, but a tree. With a number of doorways and gates and these lit up kind of natural lanterns that kind of turn inward towards it. And as you kind of hold the sword aloft towards it, there is just a center of knotted tree trunk that is kind of gnarled and pushing upward. And you see just a glow of green towards one of these heavy roots.
You once reached out to me another time across the ocean. We could really use a frank chat with you. And I humbly ask, with a sprinkle of faith, and I will turn the blade and not harm the tree, but I will sort of wedge it carefully between two roots there.
Okay. You set the blade like between the roots.
I take a knee.
You take a knee. The rest of you watch as Orym kind of kneels, and you hear this faint creaking sound as the root begins to shift. You watch as vines begin to extend and wrap around Orym like a rapidly gathering cocoon of leaves and vine.
Orym, you good?
It's okay.
You look so comfortable.
You watch as the ground flowers sprout. Grasses begin to suddenly rise up. Within but a couple of moments, Orym is gone from your sight in what is now a knotted cluster of wild flowers and vines standing resilient against the falling snow. The rest of you watch Orym cocooned against the exterior of the Birthheart. As your bodies kind of instinctively lurch to protect, Keyleth kind of puts a hand up, silently acknowledging to just let it happen.
I knew it was you, Keyleth. Should have let that sword take you.
Orym. As the warm sensation of the surrounding branches and vines and flowers and grasses engulf you, you begin to hear the sounds of nature around you. The natural landscape, like an evening amongst the densest of bog forests. The sound of wind rustling through tree boughs. And then eventually you feel the vines pull back from you. And as it does, you are standing in a glade, a beautiful, like moonlit glade. Soft white light beams kind of piercing through numerous points in this clustered canopy of massive, majestic, tri-pointed leaves. The sense of scale is challenging your perspective. You feel so small, but the leaves look so large in comparison. You feel big until you look down at yourself. And you are made of leaves. Your skin is green and veined with leaves protruding from your fingers, from your shoulders. No armor, no weapons. You are just as nude as the day is long, but like you had grown from a bud. You look around you, the pullback of the nature around you are massive, like rose petals, like a massive flower had opened up that you had emerged from. And here you You stand yourself, but different. You take a step beyond the button. As your foot touches the ground, you can feel the breath and whisper of the forest around you. Like you inhale, and everything around you inhales with you and welcomes you. You take a second step. It inhales with you and welcomes you. You hear the chirping of birds. The creaking sound of the tree in the wind gets louder as the vines begin to unroll from above. The white moonlight begins to dissipate as it's clustered, and instead a golden, sourceless light begins to fill this glade like a golden dusk color, just as the sun begins to disappear beyond the horizon. As these branches begin to expand and lower, you watch as they pull open, and from them emerges a face. A beautiful, welcoming smile. Earthen brown skin. Gentle, golden eyes. The leaves and canopy itself, the hair that continues to tumble and curl around as it comes down to you and meets your gaze. So massive to where you felt like you had grown yourself from a large flower. Now you feel like you grew from a regular flower. You are so small, and she is so encompassing.
Thank you for admitting me to your realm. I know that I don't offer prayer. I've never been a follower, though I've taken note of you. Will you talk to me?
The languageless sense is that of gracious appreciation. Acknowledgement that your path is yours, and an apology has no need here. The next sense you feel is, and he's here with us too.
I don't know if you know this already, but my friends and I have looked back through a window in time and saw you and your kin, minus the grandeur. We saw you come together, saw you bridge the divide with your estranged family. And soon, one that walks in the mortal realm means to show everyone that story.
You watch as some of the trees behind her face begin to creak and shift and open, revealing paths beyond the wooded glade where you stand. And the face withdraws back up into the trees.
Wait. No, please, we're running out of time. You're running out of time.
The loud creaking sound comes to a halt as where the trees have shifted in the background, you can see new paths exiting the glade continue on.
I turn to look behind me, hoping but not really expecting to see my friends. I don't, do I?
It's just you here.
Orym, I start to rustle and move through whatever path is in front of me.
With each step you take, those tethers of vines extend from your foot and reach, almost like your foot is extending to root itself before it even meets the ground, much like your sword reached for the tree as you approached. And so you root yourself with each step before the next dislodges, never fully leaving the ground as you progress. There's a path to the right and a path to the left. Which do you choose?
To the
He
right.
chose down.
To the right?
The right.
Walking the right path, you step into a darker wood This one feeling cold, though the wind is present. You step further in to a smaller glade beyond this, and you see a singular statue, not unlike the one where you last had your brief communion with her. But the statue lies cracked and fallen.
I will reach out and touch the marred statue.
Your hand touches the statue. It shudders and falls in, crumbling into a pile of broken stone.
I know I'm not in mortal existence, but I will use the same force of will I do when I cause blooms to grow, and I'll touch my planted hands down into the pile of rubble and try to will growth.
As you place your hands between the stones, your fingers extend and reach out to root into the ground itself, like you yourself becoming a multi-faceted tree, finding different points of contact. As you do, you feel your fingers running deeper and extending, splintering and pushing throughout. You are becoming deeply ingrained in this space, and you will growth and life here. And as you do, you sense that warmth begin to return to the space. Blossoms begin to spread throughout within. The warm breeze picks up, and you glance upward in the canopy above itself. Her face there waits, smiling once more. The breeze, as it encircles you, you pick up that emotion and imagery once more. You get the sense she is the custodian of this, but she acts through you. Since they withdrew, you are her instrument. You. As she smiles down upon you, the cheeks fall to a stoic intensity, and her golden eyes burn red. The light around you turns red. It grows more and more red. You blink, and you have visions, imagery of a shoreline, the waves large and crashing against the stone and rock, an island built with towers and walls. You see shapes, massive, titan-like, walking, gathering at the edge, a strange star falling from the sky, crashing into the space. The red light grows bright, flashes once more. As you come back, you see, standing, towering over the landscape, dozens, it seems, almost, family. Faceless but strong, guardians, gods, one head of light, one enwrapped within an endless tether of scroll and script. You see shadowed visions of the pantheon gathered around this fallen star. And two of these figures vanish. The star grows brighter and redder. You feel the fear. You see the people of this city, this island where it fell, shouting, calling. You feel the fear. You feel the recollection of a fear only felt once before, and with a sadness, a deal is brokered. You see mountains shift and flames plume. You watch as the sea rises, the city, this island, swallowed in stone. You watch as runes and glyphs, the size of a coast, ensnare and jettison it into the cosmos. You hear the screams of those sealed within as they are sent off into the darkened ether. You feel sorrow. And in that flash, that moment that you watch the earth and rock heated and condensed, you know the hunger of nature. You know the hunger of the predator. You know the hunger of being abandoned, the hunger of survival. You feel but a flash of a hunger you cannot understand. It is outside of your emotional capabilities. It is an oblivion hunger. It is primal, and it is bringing you to the brink of madness to try and understand it in that flash. Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
I mean, succeed.
That is 13, which probably is a failure, right?
I don't know.
Well, if it is, I would want to use Indomitable. You can re-roll a saving throw that you fail.
It is a failure.
It's worse.
I mean, no.
That peek into an outer cosmic hunger and that brief experienced celestial survival-based fear that you sense within the shoes and experience of the Wildmother and those present overwhelms you. You hear a sound, this high-pitched sound that gets louder and louder and louder until you recognize it. It's you screaming. You're screaming. You don't know why, but you're now realizing that you're just screaming. As the red light begins to fade back from this vision, you sense the emotion, apologetic, apologizing, warming. The leaves surround you and pick you up like a child. You feel yourself cradled in the boughs of the Wildmother, the warmth pulling you back from the screaming edge. The scream subsides, and you feel the tears wet on your cheek. You don't fully understand what you saw or what you felt, but it's there now. There's something either broken in you or rooted in you. But something in some small way has changed.
Whatever comes next, please let the garden grow.
The warmth you feel surrounding you. You can no longer see the smile, but you feel the cheek against yours, and you sense her expressing natural, unconditional love. And an ask. Protect us. For we protect you. And together we protect this. The leaves crash open once more, and now like the bright of sunlight comes in. You wince as you're now held knees to your chest in a fetal position, cradled within these boughs like a nest within a tree. And now before you, you see the endless mountains climbing and spilling across the most beautiful valleys of rivers and streams and waterfalls. Jungles and swamps and forests and storms and clear blue skies, all of the beauty and terror and wonder of nature itself just stretches out for infinity beyond you. Together, we protect this. We. And you feel something on your shoulder. And you look over, and there, sitting next to you, made of similar green vines, is Will. his eyes golden like hers, smiling from its green and brown facsimile of his memory. Together.
I hold up my hand to clasp. And together the hands erupt in little flowers that spiral down and around our arms. I've got this.
The hands and the flowers themselves, now the roots try and burrow from your hand into his, like they rooted into the forest. But he pulls his hand away and touches your cheek. We will. But I also need you to live. Be happy. Don't live your life in the shadow of mine.
Eventually, everything becomes one.
I'll be here waiting.
I'll see you soon.
The branches begin to give way, and you both begin to tumble through them like the most gentle fall into bush and branch. As you tumble, it grows darker and darker and darker and quicker and quicker and quicker until suddenly you're just kind of drifting in darkness and nothing. The rest of you watch as the shell begins to crack and unwind, brown and curl back.
Did she give you a weapon? Any knowledge? Oh, the knowledge thing. Yeah, she gave you a vision. Check your pockets.
Is his armor fancier? What's going on?
Can you turn into a tree?
No, armor's the same. The blade's still wedged in there, but like the armor's.
I will remove that gingerly.
As you pull the blade free, the blade itself is longer than it was when you placed it
Oh, shit!
within the roots. And as you glance at the hilt and the handle, you can see the vine growth is denser. And there are two golden gems, like two golden eyes, now looking from the front of the blade, like she's guiding its strike.
Oh!
Gunsu.
Handle the
Exalt that shit.
So,
Cool.
interesting point of order here. Vestiges of the Divergence are relics of a time gone past. Newly crafted items will forever be referred to now as, at least for this event, relics of the Red Solstice.
Cool. Now we need all of them.
I was gonna say I got a god I want to bitch at, but you know.